Alright, so this is going to be a quick little video about my experience with General Motors and the Shudder on my 2020 Colorado. A lot of people seem to talk about it, not a lot of people seem to be able to catch exactly what it is, what it sounds like, and how it feels. So luckily I have a video of how it feels and what it sounds like. And if you're experiencing something similar to that, I would highly suggest taking it in. And I'm going to kind of go through what General Motors said the issue was with my case of it, and see if that might help somebody out there who's experiencing the same thing. So right now I'm going to go ahead and roll the footage of my version of the Shudder and talk a little bit about how it felt hard shifting, and obviously you'll see in the footage it vibrating pretty severely. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that, and then we will talk about what they replaced and what's causing it, at least for me. So my issue initially started about 4 months ago is when it started to get really bad, but I actually had it prior to that. It was right around, I think, about the 10,000 mile mark. Obviously I got the truck in March last year, and it progressively got worse. So as you saw in the video, that's what I was experiencing, but it wasn't only at those speeds. If I had really stepped on it while I was driving, it would feel like it would engage, slip, and catch really hard and shift the truck up. So basically, when I took it to them, they didn't care about any of the aftermarket parts, nothing like that. As soon as I mentioned Shudder, the guy basically knew what I was talking about, or should I say a boot for you Americans. He basically knew what I was talking about a boot. Anyways, so he was like, yeah, no problem, we're gonna drive it. Obviously I told him how he was gonna have to drive it in order to get it to show up. They didn't do that, obviously. They took it for a spin. They were able to tell me that, oh yeah, your steering wheel shakes, and I said, well, that's because of the tires being off balance and whatnot, so I'm not really concerned about that. He said, but we did notice that the truck is hard shifting, so we're going to take a look at it and see what we can do. The truck goes in for day one, and he calls me, he says, it's not going to be ready, we haven't had a chance to look at it. I said, fine, whatever, take as much time as you need. Day two, he calls me, says, okay, we're going to need to rebuild the torque converter. I've got parts on order, they're overnight, so we should get it sorted out for you on tomorrow. I said, okay, no problem. Next day comes, and I'm waiting all day. They basically had it until I think about 4 o'clock, 4:30, and he said, yeah, come pick it up. I get there, he says, yeah, so the torque converter clutch lockout was turning on and off. It was engaging and disengaging for whatever reason, and it basically completely disintegrated the torque converter and the clutch inside. He was actually quite surprised as to how I was still driving it, because normally they would see that some sort of code would come up and the vehicle would go into limp mode, but luckily enough that hadn't happened yet. So on the screen I'll leave a list of all the parts that they did, everything that was required to replace it. I've been driving the truck for about probably 3 weeks now, 2 weeks, and I haven't noticed it shifting hard or anything like that. So this situation seems to have remedied itself once they fixed it. So they also relearn the trans and all that other fun stuff that you'll see in the invoice. But so far so good. So if you guys are having similar experiences with your 2020 or your 2021, as long as you're under warranty, bring it into them, get it sorted out, because it will fix it, and hopefully it stays away. There's been some other guys who obviously on the older some second gens on the like 17s and 18s who have gotten a trans flush. Now, normally what the trans flush does is they replace the fluid and it stops it from getting so hot and stops it from hard shifting and causing that clutch to engage and disengage. I didn't go and get it looked at soon enough, so because I didn't get it looked at soon enough, it had obviously progressed to that later stage where it just blew it apart essentially. So I would definitely go get it looked at and yeah, see if they can't sort you out before it gets to that stage where you need to get your torque converter replaced. But other than that, it's been good so far, and I'll keep everybody updated through my Instagram and on the Facebook pages, Reddit, wherever you might find me, about what's going on and if it returns. So good luck to anybody else who's had this issue, and let me know what you think.